What's going on, everybody? Blake Wallace, Wallace Realty Group. I have not, this is completely live, and I know that there's probably not many people watching right now, but if you're watching during the recording, I hope you get a lot out of this. Listen, here's what's happening. I need to turn my music down. If you've tuned into my channel before, if you've seen any of my live prospecting sessions before, you know that I like calling absentee owners. I have a link in the description that you can click to go get your leads from the share group. Awesome, 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 awesome leads there. I have gotten 7 listings now from this list. I'm going to describe first the process that I use, and I'm going to do this up front just in case you're watching. You don't want to watch this whole thing going through because it gets boring. I'm going to dial today for probably about an hour and a half because that's going to get me all the way through my list of 3,500 leads that I've gotten, and I can give you some results after that. So anyway, 7 listings that I've gotten. Two of those deals actually resulted in three different transaction sides each. It was somebody that was selling a townhouse or somebody that was selling a condo, and then they also wanted to purchase another investment property after they sold their condo. So that right there paid for this list 20 times over already. So it's such a affordable way to do it. But here's what I do. So if you're a real estate agent and you're a member of the National Association of Realtors, you have access to something called Realtor Property Resource. I believe that's what it's called. RPR is the acronym, Realtors Property Resource. In that, within that system, you have a seller's report that you can do. So here's what I do. Not only do I call this list, this list gets me through 3,500 numbers. If I was consistent in doing it every single day, probably every 2 months I would get through this list. And that's probably it. Probably every 2 months I would get through this list and I'd be able to call it back and try to reach the people that I didn't reach the first time through. Using that list, doing the seller's reports, I send out 6 seller's reports a day to the same list. Now, what's going to happen is over time, if I don't reach the people, or maybe it's a wrong number on the list or something like that, the address is usually accurate. The address of the owner on the list, or the mailing address, is usually pretty accurate because you can pull that from tax records and things like that. So that's probably one of the most accurate pieces of information you're going to have. The reason why I do both is because the call is going to get you the right now business. You're going to reach people. They're going to tell you no. You're going to reach those people that are just going to flat out tell you yes. You're going to be able to add people into your CRM and follow up with them on the time frame that they do it. If you've listened to my calls and you listen to my scripts, you'll see how I get people to just let me know when I can follow back up with them, and then I just follow their instructions, basically. When you're mailing people, that's going to get you the long term, the future listings and things like that. So basically, as you're mailing, if you don't happen to hit somebody on your phone call, they're going to get this report in the mail. And it's a 10-page report that I send that's got comparable information, market information, gives them an estimate of what their property might be worth. I print out a Post-it note, and I can do a separate video of this too to kind of show you the process. I print on a Post-it note a short letter, a short note that's in handwritten font. I didn't handwrite it myself. I found the font in Microsoft Word, did it, and then I printed out on an actual Post-it note, put it on there, and put 2 business cards in the envelope. On a daily basis, it cost me $5 to mail out 6 envelopes with a 10-page report in there, 2 business cards. My business card has a QR code on it that takes them to a video page where it gives them a brief introduction of myself, and they can schedule time with me. The reason why I'm telling you this now is because just this past week, as I've been mailing it out, I've only started doing the mailings over the last month. So I've sent out, 20, 24 mailers going through the 3,500. It's going to take us some time to get through all of them, but I'm still going to, keep mailing, just keep going. It just kind of gives me something to do to consistently hit people. I just got a call the other day from somebody who said that they got the report and said they're wanting to list in a couple of months. Now, I might still give them a call from my list, but if I do, they'll say, yeah, we're ready to go. We're just going to go. They're going to be listing their home with me in October. We're going to put it on the market. It's going to sell. It's going to be around a $225,000, $230,000 listing. which is great because those are the ones that sell quickly. And I like to work in volume, and I get the listings that sell quickly. Don't get me wrong. I love the high price listings as well. They just take a little bit longer to sell. That's just the reality, and that's fine. So I get a good mix of everything. I work with everybody. It gives me leads. It gives me buyer leads in all categories that I can work with, and it just keeps me moving. That's how you can build a business here. That's how you can build a business off of absentee owners. That's how you can do that. Can you only mail? Can you do just the mailing to the list? Of course you can. Of course you can. You just have to be patient. You just have to understand that it's going to take some time for the actual leads, for people to start calling you back, because I don't do a regular monthly mailer to these folks. It's 3,500 call. It's 3,500 letters, 10-page reports, and that would be expensive to just hit them all at once and just keep doing monthly. Doing it this way with six per day and mailing them out that way. I do 6 because I can fit 6 Post-it notes on one sheet of paper when I print it out. Doing 6 a day, that's going to get me through this list, and now everybody will get a report, once a year. Chances are, because it's such a substantial report, it's 10 pages and it's a report on something that they have, chances are they're going to keep it. They'll hold on to it. So when they get it, and it's got a first class stamp on it that looks like, you put some effort into it. I'll give you an example here. Can't give you that. I'm not going to show you the address, but this is what it is. I've got a stamp of my with my return address on there and everything, and it just kind of goes like that. So that's what it looks like. It goes out regular envelope. I handwrite the address on there, and goes that way. There's 2 business cards in there. There's a note. It goes boom, and then I'll also potentially hit them when I do these cold calls. So that's that. That's the process. I hope you got that. Hope you understand what it is that I'm doing, how I like to do the short-term and the long-term kind of prospecting. Listen, direct mail is prospecting. Don't let anybody tell you direct mail isn't prospecting. This is making cold calls and doing what I'm about to do right now. This is active prospecting. It's just active. Like, I'm doing this right now. I'm hitting people. I'm trying to talk to people right now today in order to do this. But if you're doing direct mail, that's a form of prospecting too. I mean, it's pretty active. I call it passive prospecting only because you're not physically speaking to someone, and what you're doing is you're looking to attract people to call you. But if you do both, if you call and you mail, and if you have an online presence and things like that, and people can find you there, that works too. But like, I don't do any direct like targeting with this list or anything like that. The only target that I have is their address, their phone number, and the name. And a lot of times I don't even get to say I don't say their name on the calls that I make. Look, I hope that you will be able to hear the calls.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
So you should be able to hear the calls that I'm making. You should be able to hear the other people on the line. I hope you can. I've gotten a couple of messages saying that people wish that they could hear what people are saying on the other side. So hopefully I got that all squared away now. So yeah, I have 300 calls, and I will be through this list. Super excited about that. I'm probably going to go back and get the list cleaned up, and I'm going to keep calling because I've had success with this list. It's way better than just calling random neighborhoods and things like that. You can target it and break it up however you want, but I just hit them all and go that way. So pay attention to my script. If you have questions, leave me questions in the comments. I do reply to comments. Whether you're live or this is on a recording, I'll get it and I will reply. If you have questions, it's highly likely that I'll make a video to the answer of the question and send it to you and tag you in it. So
You've reached Bruno with the Urban Realty. Sorry I can't take your phone call right now, but leave me a brief message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Well, that's another real estate agent, and that's cool too. coffee.
The number 95283.
Hello?
Hi, my name is Blake. I'm a real estate broker here in Eagan. You having a good day so far?
Sorry,
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, my name is Blake. I'm a real estate broker here in Eagan. You having a good day so far?
No.
You're not. All right, that's fine. Look, listen, I know you're busy. I just had a couple questions for you. And wanted to, is you still there? Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. What I do is I say that I'm a real estate broker in hello.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Blake. I'm a real estate broker here in Minneapolis. You having a good day so far?
Yes, thank you.
Good, good. Hey, look, I know you're busy, so I just have a couple questions for you and I'll let you go. Sound good?
Sure.
Yeah, I was calling about 5143 Chicago Avenue. Is that your house?
Yes.
Would you consider selling that property within the next 12 months?
I don't know.
Okay,
Not immediately.
not
My
immediately.
son and grandson are living there.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Well, hey, if you ever do decide to sell, would it be all right if I got back with you?
Certainly.
Sounds good. Well, hey, when should I follow up with you? You think in the next couple of years or so?
Well, maybe about 4 months.
Maybe in about 4 months or so?
You could check then. Yeah.
That sounds good. I'll put you on my calendar and I'll give you a call back then. Thanks so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
And there you have it. So, said maybe in about 4 months, and that puts us in January, right? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually send her a thank you note because she had me say that she wanted to follow up with her, and then I put an appointment on my dialer here to call her back actually in October because she gave me an exact time and date to follow up with her on. So, two things are going to happen. I'm going to send her one of the reports based on the phone call that we had with a short note in there saying, thank you for your time. Here's a quick thing. I look forward to talking to you in a couple of months. And then she'll get that in the mail and then she'll get a call from me in actually October instead of in January, because if she wants to sell, then, son, daughter-in-law living there, it might be something where they might be getting married. They might be looking for another place to go, whatever it may be. So that's it. Got music playing in the background. You got to have fun with it.
Hi, this is the Pisces. Please leave a message. Thank you.
So typically I am super like laid back and it comes across in my voice. So a couple of things that I did in order to make my cold calls more effective. I got a stand-up desk and I put my prospecting nook all together here in one space where I can stand up and do that because that adds a little bit more life to my voice. If you look at some of my earlier ones, you can tell on days where I'm like really just low energy and things like that. And that comes across and people interact with you the same way that you interact with them. So you kind of have to, I don't want to say you have to play this game, but you do. You kind of have to create an alter ego, so to speak, right? So typically when I'm on my calls, you'll notice that I probably talk louder and I talk faster than I normally do in any other video and just in day-to-day life. Even if I go meet with somebody, I don't speak the same way. But the way that it comes across on the phone is just a lot more friendly, and it's not like, oh, hey, but I do tend to match people's tones. But for the most part, it's just that. But happy about that. I call that a warm lead. 4 months. We'll see what happens. But I'll send them that information saying thanks for your time on the phone. And that's how it goes. Yeah, my neighbor's out, kids playing. It's a beautiful day. Once this is done, I'm going to get out and go do something. When I don't have appointments or showings or things like that, I'm calling. When I'm not calling, I'm going on appointments, doing things like that. So I'm just constantly keeping myself busy. But today, when I'm done calling, it's Saturday. Just going to kick it. Got to have fun with it. And I'm going to keep having fun with it because I'm getting leads. And these leads, it's better than buying them from Zillow. These are sellers. They want to do something. And
Hello.
hi, this is Blake. I'm a real estate broker here in Richfield. Are you having a good day so far?
So far.
Good, good. Hey, look, I know you're busy. I just have a couple questions for you, and I'll let you go. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Hey, I was calling about 6408 Blaisdell Avenue. Is that your house?
It is.
Gotcha. Hey, would you consider selling the property in the next 12 months or so?
No.
All right. Thank you for your time. That's the answer that you want. You want a yes or a no. That's it. That's it. Now, what I need to think about is the follow-up question. I have a follow-up question. It's like, all right, thank you. All right, sounds good. I got you. Well, if you decide to interview, well, it's either if you decide to interview agents or if you do decide to sell, would it be all right if I get back with you? Great. When should I circle back with you? Like that's it. Like that's just a kind of a normal conversation, right? Like if they do that, they might then it has them think, might be a smart ass. I'm never gonna sell it. Don't worry about it. Blah blah blah. Do whatever. But that's just what it is. So. And on that note, I will be right I will be right back. And I'm back. See who I can catch. I am expecting a call, so I may drop off here again. But we're going to see. Switch to water.
You are trying to reach us can't be powered off or temporarily offline.
Good music playing in the background. My dog laying underneath the desk next to me. It's just a good old party in here while I make these calls. Get these leads.
The number you have reached is not in service. Please check the number and dial again.
Like I said, when you hear those ones that say the number's not in service, 9 times out of 10, the mailing address is correct. So they're going to get my report eventually. They're going to see it, and that way no lead falls through the cracks. You understand? So that's it. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, my name's Blake. I'm a real estate broker here in Eagan. Did I catch you at a bad time?
Well, what do you need?
Well, I know you're busy. I just had a couple of questions for you, and then I can let you go. Does that sound good?
If it's relating to real estate, I guess not.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
See, you want to remain first of all, you want to keep your emotions in check. You want to remain in control. If somebody's not interested, they're not interested. Let them go. Because when I work back through this list, I'm going to call this person again, right? So that's the whole thing is that when you don't want to keep pushing, you never want to be a nuisance. That's why I don't leave voicemails. That's why they only get the one mailer from me, which is the report. That's why when somebody says no, even if they say, does that sound good? If I let you know, does that sound good? And they're like, nope, not interested. I let them go. It's great. I let them go. I got other people that I can call. Somebody says, yeah, that's fine. They let me get through my couple of questions. Great. You know, that's somebody that you built a relationship with already because they let you get through that. I switched my script up. I said it's now a good time. You can interchange that, whatever. Some people like it, some people don't. I kind of like the hope you're having a good day so far. It's just a little bit more friendly or whatever. It's better than asking how you doing today.
Hello?
Hi, my name's Blake. I'm a real estate broker here in Minneapolis. I hope you're having a good day so far.
I am.
Good, good. Hey, look, I know you're super busy. I just had a couple questions for you and I can let you go. Sound good?
Sure.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, I was calling about 4721 Lindell Avenue. Was that your house?
Yes.
Would you consider selling that property in the next year or so?
No.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, hey, whenever you do decide to sell, would it be all right if I got back with you?
Sure.
Sounds good. Well, hey, when should I circle back?
5 to 10 years.
5 to 10 years. That sounds good. I'll still be in business then. Thanks so much for your time.
Good.
And guess what? You ain't got to worry about that because things change. So, because things change. But what'll happen is, guess what? They'll get my report and they'll get it. Yeah, whether they decide to sell in 2, 3 years, you never know. Things happen. See, that's a really good follow-up question. It's a really good follow-up question for these leads because it depends on their situation. If it's a rental property for them, they might be thinking like, all right, I'm ready to make an exit. They might be at the end of their time frame for how long they want to be a landlord on that property. So they could say, give me a call back in 6 months. If somebody tells me within the next year, I consider that to be a warm lead. This is probably the worst YouTube live I've ever recorded with those breaks in between. But I was expecting calls coming in, so I would just kind of pause things and just keep going.
The number 952-888-70.
So now that I'm back, while I'm waiting on the next person to answer, check this out. A couple of ways to handle the thing. After I ask the two questions, that second question, there's a definite time frame on there, right? Are you looking to sell in the next 12 months? Because that's actually what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody who's going to be selling within the next year, because over a year's time, or they say, you know what, I'm actually thinking about selling in the next few months, blah, blah, blah. Like it opens up a conversation, or they can just say no. Typically, if somebody says no, then they're truly just not thinking about selling. If somebody's thinking about selling, you say, would you consider selling the property in the next year or so? Then what happens is they start thinking, they'll say, you know what, I'm actually thinking about selling in the next 6 months. It'd be great. Well, I'd love to work with you. When should I, if they just say yes, well, great. Well, when should I, follow up with you, or whatever that might be. But it just kind of drives a natural conversation forward for you to do that and for you to open that up. It's an open-ended question for the most part. Somebody could either just say yes, or somebody could just say no. After that, the question is, well, okay, got you. When are you thinking about selling? And then can I set some time up with you to talk about, what I do to sell and things like that. And you can ask any questions. That's kind of how the conversation goes. If somebody tells me no, then typically I'll just kind of say, all right, great. Thanks for your time. I'll mark them as not interested. Give them a call back again. And then chances are they're going to get hit with my report that I send out. So that's how it goes. Look, this has been a very, very long YouTube live that I've done, but I've taken these like long breaks in between, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there.
Hi, this is Gene. Okay, I can't come to the phone right now.
20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Like I said, I was taking calls, answering questions, actually over on Instagram. I don't have the link down below for my Instagram, but if you are on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram. You can DM me any questions that you have. Any question that I get, especially regarding prospecting and things like that, I like to make videos for and do it kind of that way. So questions about marketing on social media, which I don't do, and I have an opinion on social media marketing for real estate agents and what it's actually good for, because there is a purpose. Absolutely, there is a purpose. And what I feel like is the most effective, which is prospecting like this and things like direct mail and things like that. Like don't X direct mail out to be like digital or anything like that. You know what I mean? Because people still go to the mailbox, especially now. People are home. It actually gives people a reason to get up and get outside and go check the mailbox. I've noticed, even when I'm working here, this is my home office. I work out of my home. Mailman comes around here around 12:30 or so, and I'll actually see my neighbors who are now working from home too, due to the pandemic and whatnot. As soon as the mailman pulls off, they're out going to check the mail. You know what I mean? So that told me, don't give up on direct mail. Just make it personal, right? It's when I'm sending direct mail, it's something that's directly involved. It's not just a generic message.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been
It's not just a generic message. It's something that's directly involved or directly calling out an asset that they own, property that they own. Oh, getting a call back. I think didn't do that. So if you hear that, I get calls back through my dialer too. I freaking love this thing. Prospect Boss is the dialer that I use. Prospect Boss, one of the best dialers out. I've gone away from it, and I've come back several times.
number that has been.
But I pretty much purchased the maxed out version and a 3-line dialer. It's got a full CRM setup in there. It works well for me because my main business is around calling. So I have the address in here. I have the mailing address in here for the people that I'm going to call. And I can log into it. It has a little calendar that pops up on there, and we go from there. So the next live that I do, I'll share my screen over on the other side so you can see what it looks like. But right now I'm just kind of going because this has been, man, I've been on here for about an hour and 25 minutes. I have been making calls. I had to step away. Sorry for that. Fast forward through it if you're watching. But I won't do it that way again. I'll try not to be as distracted over there. But within the first 20 minutes of calling, I mean, I got a warm lead, right? Somebody says next 4 months.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected.
hello, we are not available now. Please leave your name.
You know, you get to around like 11:45 on a Saturday, close to noon on a Saturday. Whenever you dial, if you're dialing on the weekend, if you're ever, good time to start is, like 9 a.m. Start calling around 9 a.m. Once people get going and get moving about their weekend, they're less likely to answer the phone. You know what I mean? But I don't really time my calls for when people best. I just call like when I'm free. You know what I mean? So in the morning is usually the best time for me, just energy, things like that. So during the week, especially if I'm calling absentee owners, they're not like a time sensitive lead, if that's the right word for it. But like if you have an expired listing or for sale by owner where they're like jump on that the first day, absentee owners aren't like that. You know what I mean? Like these are people that are sitting on it. They're probably getting calls from other real estate agents or investors, and things like that. And so when you're calling folks like this, you don't have to be on such a strict schedule. But I try to call from like 9 to 11 really every day. So 9 to 11 works for me. 9 to 11, especially on a Saturday, works for me because once you get it to be around like 11 o'clock, 11:30, people tend to, they're just up, they're moving about, maybe out cutting the grass, doing whatever they do on the weekend. So, yeah.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been
Marking those off, cleaning that list up because the next time I go through, these leads get warmer. That's the way I see it. They get warmer. Yeah. Yeah. So this list that I go through, hello?
Feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call.
This list that I call through, the share group leads. You see the banner down below. Click the link in the description to get your absentee leads, discount code Wallace. Start call. You can start calling them. If you put your order in today and then go over to Prospect Boss, get your dialer, you'll get your list probably on Monday. You can load them into your dialer and you'll be calling on Monday. And you'll probably have you'll probably have a listing within the week if you call just like this and do this. Click that link, get your leads, go about it that way, man. Look, if you do this, I promise you, you will have your best year in real estate. Starting today, you'll have your best year in real estate, guaranteed. If this is all you did was this, and you sent out the reports the way that I told you, that way that I tell you do it, you will have your best year in real estate. You can take over any zip code by doing this, because not only this, once you get a listing, you can put a sign in the yard, you get sign calls, you can do your online marketing of listings, which is the best online advertising for a real estate agent, is to actually have a listing for sale. That is when you get people to call you and say, I'm looking for a house in this area, blah, blah, blah. I want to do this. I want to do that. You can have a conversation. That's how you can get then buyer leads to start doing that. So listings are the name of the game. I'm not saying that you have to be just a listing agent, but listings are the name of the game because listings allow you to use leverage. You'll see I've had some videos in the past where I talk about buyer agency and how I see buyer agency might be something that goes away. What I mean by that, and because I've ruffled a few feathers by saying that, is the way that I said it, and I understand, but that was just to get the attention, because all we are here for is to get attention, right? Listen, here's what I think is going to happen. I think there's going to be a shift. I think the shift that's going to happen is that you're going to have the listing agents being paid by the sellers. You're going to have the buyer's agents being paid by the buyers. On either side, because of the shift, because of the information that people have out there now, there will be downward pressure on real estate commissions. This is just my opinion. On either side, I don't think that there will be a day where there aren't any real estate agents, there aren't any listing agents, there aren't any buyer's agents. I do think, though, however, that the way that we are paid in this profession is going to change. And you'll have to work a little bit harder as a buyer's agent to get clients. I think that we really, this entire time, because we are fiduciaries, and no, I'm not comparing the education for sure that you have to go through to that of a lawyer or a doctor. But I do feel like our model, our business model, and the way that we deal with clients and the way that we work with people should model that of a lawyer. It should be something like that. If you have ever dealt with a lawyer in your time, in your life, or anything like that, and listen to the way that they speak and the way that they position themselves as experts, being the experts in their fields and also being specialists, I feel like that is how a real estate agent should model their business. If they choose to be a broker or anything like that, the way that you handle clients and deal with things should be like that of a lawyer. Lawyers are fiduciaries, as are we. It's just very, very, like I said, it's very, very different. A lawyer will be somebody that's behind the wheels, churning out those contracts, understanding that language, knowing your craft in a way that you handle things and be organized in that way. And that's the model that I've mostly followed, is definitely that kind of model. You know what I mean? That of a lawyer. That's how you want to operate your real estate business. But I'm still calling. You may not have a lawyer that would be cold calling, but once you have a client and things like that, that's kind of how you want to deal with it. So anyway.
Hello.
Hi, my name's Blake. I'm a real estate broker here in Apple Valley. I hope your day's going well so far.
Good.
Good, good. Hey, look, I know you're super busy, so I just had a couple of questions for you, and then I can let you go. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I was calling about 13571 Fordham Avenue. Is that your house?
Yep.
Would you consider selling that property in the next 12 months or so?
Nope, not doing that.
Gotcha. All right.
Not
Well, hey,
unless you pay me so much that I just have to, and I know
that,
that's gonna happen, so.
that makes sense. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.
Right.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If
And Mendenhall.
Got that. Yeah. You see, that's what I like is when somebody just tells me flat out that they're not interested, man. It's fine. It's fine. I want to work with the people that are. And that's the point of a cold call. See, a lot of people think that when you're cold calling, especially in real estate, like
Please leave your message for 9.
when you're cold calling and your product is a service and not an actual product, and not like a product that somebody might have use for right now. Like let's say I was for Kirby, prime example, the Kirby folks who still knock on doors to this day selling vacuums, right? That a door knocking on doors, that's a cold call. That's basically a cold call. It's just that you're doing it in person. You're not doing it over the phone, right? Let's say that I was a Kirby salesperson and I was selling vacuums via cold calling. I had downloaded like basically the yellow pages. Anybody that owns a home or lives in the area and they clean their own home, chances are they own a vacuum, right? So they're familiar with this product. You're calling to see if they would switch to a different product, that being a superior product that is a Kirby vacuum. They're great vacuums. There's a Kirby certified dealership still down the street from my home that they still operate. Like I've had people come to my door to sell Kirby. If you have a product, you can definitely, because somebody is familiar with that, you can definitely call somebody. You can sell that product over the phone. You can get an order per se over the phone, like through an order form or something like that. Get all the information. What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You work a script like that. But when you are selling a service via the phone that somebody probably has experience with, i.e., a real estate agent or any other service provider like that, the purpose of your cold call is to qualify. That should make things a lot different. The purpose of your cold call is to qualify. These are qualifying questions. These are questions to find out if I want to follow up, right? So if somebody tells me that when I hit them with my questions, do you own that property? And would you consider selling it in the next 12 months? That's because I'm looking for somebody who is thinking about selling within the next 12 months. If they tell me their time frame is 6 months, 8 months, 3 months, next week, then you move forward and say, well, all right, that's great. When are you thinking about selling? Do you have an agent that you're going to use? Do you have your calendar ready? I love to speak. I love to set up some time during my virtual office hours so we can walk through that, see if it makes sense for us to work together. The purpose is to qualify. Once you get that through your head, the no's won't bother you as much. That's not a qualified person. And you're going to be working with highly qualified people if you make enough of the phone calls and if you call them as often as you should. These folks for me get called maybe every 2-3 months, right? And then they get their reports and stuff like that. But I don't do a ton of extra like marketing that way to additional leads or lead sources. So that's how this kind of works. And that's how you do that. Once you get that through your head that you're qualifying, you're not selling, you're qualifying. I want to find the people that would think about selling in the next year or so. If they've already sold, great. That gives me hope that there are people on this list that are actually thinking about selling. And that's the way that I look at it. And that's why when somebody tells me no, it's actually what I'm looking for. It's actually what I'm looking for, because that means that I can mark them as not interested for now, and then I'll call them back later. And that's how that works. And I'm still calling. Just got a few more minutes. After today, I'll have about 150 more calls to make before I get through this list. Do that early next week. But once I do, I'm going to really, really dedicate the time Monday through Friday to dial this list for 2 hours every single day. I have to be honest, I've fallen off. I had fallen off for a couple of weeks, and that really throws off your thing. But the thing is, I was constantly learning the entire time, and I don't want to say that that caused me to like procrastinate.
Hi, you've reached the voicemail of Rick Vale. Please wait to the tone and leave a message.
Not saying that gave me a reason to procrastinate, because the one thing I don't believe in is like structured procrastination, but I'm always reading and doing things like that. So while I was falling off and not really doing the prospecting that I should have, I was still working with buyers. Had a couple of listings come on that I sold, and I was still working with them. The problem is, though, when you work that way and you stop, you slow down your momentum. And everything that happens in real estate, what you do today, you're going to see the results of probably around 90 days later, right? So you have to be constantly filling that pipeline up of people to call, people to follow up with, people to contact back. But during that time while I was working, I was reading books. I've read this book. One second, I'll give you a couple of good books to read. So like in general, right, I read a lot of sales books, you know what I mean? So if you've heard of this guy, Haas Pratt, he's awesome, listing boss. Haas Pratt is amazing. Good stuff in here. It really ties into this book. Now, I got these old school sales book, man, that have really changed my entire outlook on the way that I do things. This is newer. This one's going to tell you, like, focusing on your for sale by owners, expireds, how to structure your business once you start getting production. So this is a great book to read. Absolutely. It'll tell you the system to set up. He's a big proponent of using LionDesk as a CRM, which I do use as a CRM. Once I get listings and leads, I transition everything over to that CRM just because it's more real estate focused, while the dialer is good for the prospecting and things like that. So I can schedule my calls and do that. So basically every morning I wake up, I log into LionDesk and I log into Prospect Boss. But this is awesome, Listing Boss. You can use his tactics and techniques and everything for any lead source that you're looking for. He also has an awesome way of working with buyers and how to do that effectively. So Listing Boss, Haas Pratt. So this is one that I read just about a week or so ago. How to Become a Rainmaker. This is one of those old school books. I don't even know exactly when this was published. It says this was published in 2000, but I think it was recreated just because of the way that some of this stuff is written. But How to Become a Rainmaker. Really quick read here. Not a huge book. The chapters in it are like 2 or 3 pages long, which is awesome because you can use it like literally as a guide. Like a lot of times I have this sitting there because at at the end, it talks about the point system, using a point system, so getting your 4-point days and things like that, which I've actually heard people like Quintavious Burdett use as well. And then also it just walks through like some good sales questions to ask as a rainmaker, and what kind of gives you that authority and how to run an effective meeting and an appointment. And then also the best part about this book is that it gives you, in one of their last, if you can see it, I don't know if you can see it, but the bonus chapter is 10 things to do today to get business. It talks about sending a handwritten note, clip and send an article of interest to somebody that you've been following up with, talk to a satisfied client, try to get a referral, send a thank you gift to somebody who referred you, give your business card to someone. This is awesome because it made me, I had stopped carrying business cards a lot of the time, but now like people start conversations with me and just like understanding kind of the way you carry yourself and what you're putting out there to the world, right? If somebody starts a conversation with you, you should be handing out your business card. It also tells you a really cool thing to say when you're handing out your business card. But how to become a rainmaker was another one. High probability selling is actually how I structured the way that I prospect and the way that I view prospecting. High probability selling. Now, this book came out like in the 80s or something like that, right? I think this book came out in the 80s, but I got that one too. High probability selling. From day one that I read this, it literally changed my entire mindset around prospecting and what I was looking for and how I wanted to go about doing it. And it tied in very well with prospecting absentee leads. And last but not least, Power Phone Scripts by Mike Brooks. And I actually just purchased his other 2 books, which is Ultimate Phone Scripts and How to Become like the Top 20% or something like that. But this book, Power Phone Script, literally gives you scripts for opening up a cold call, which is how I started opening up my phone call today. So like I said, as I was on that kind of hiatus from making the cold calls, I was retweaking and tweaking my script and getting better and knowing that when I got back on the phone, I was just going to be that much more effective. Teaches you how to leave a voicemail, teaches you some good follow-up systems that I use when I'm calling like for sale by owners and expired listings. I don't really call them that often because the absentee leads give me pretty much everything that I need. But this is another book. So if you don't read any other books in your lifetime, I would say read this. It talks a lot about business to business, but when you look at business to business, and then you can also adapt the scripts to business to customer and doing things like that. He actually has some examples specifically for real estate, which is what made me craft my new script for calling absentee owners. Then I definitely highly suggest reading this one because this will change your mindset. It's definitely good for mindset and what you're looking for when you're selling. There's also some scripting ideas in here as well that'll keep you effective and moving forward and efficient. And then this one, just carry this one like in your briefcase, your backpack, whatever you carry, just carry this one. And I read it cover to cover, and then from time to time I'll go back and look, and I try to do something from it. Like every other week, it'll say like just go in and try something, right? So teaches you some good questions to ask and things like that. So boom, that's it. Look, I appreciate you watching. I apologize for being all over the place during this live recording, but I hope you got something from it, especially from the very beginning when I talked about what I do for these absentee owners. Be sure to click that link to go get your leads and get started dialing right now. And let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to help. Thanks for watching.